Pay attention to this security camera footage. March 23, 2024. 3:02 a.m. Grainy black and white pharmacy corner camera, Al-Khaleej Street, Dubai Marina. A pregnant woman runs, clutching her belly phone to her ear, looking over her shoulder every few steps. Timestamp 3 hours 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Headlights appear. Black Mercedes. Moving slow, the woman sees it, tries to reach the pharmacy entrance. The Mercedes accelerates. 3 hours 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Two men in white. Kendura's exit. She tries to run. One grabs her arm. She drops her phone. Screen shatters. She's screaming, mouth open, head thrown back. The second man grabs her other arm. They drag her toward the car. She fights, plants her feet, but she's 7 months pregnant. No leverage. 3 hours 2 minutes and 41 seconds. They force her into the back seat. 3 hours 2 minutes and 47 seconds. The Mercedes drives away. Her phone remains on the pavement, cracked, illuminated. A small pool of liquid spreads beside it. Amniotic fluid. Her water broke. This is the last footage of Callum Santos alive. 13 minutes earlier, she recorded a phone call with the man who ordered her kidnapping. 3 hours later, she would be dead. Most people watching this footage think they know what happened. A pregnant woman having an affair with a wealthy man who decided she was a problem. Wrong. This is about 3 other women who died the exact same way. This is about $8.4 million stolen over 8 years. This is about a wife who planned every murder while her husband watched. And this is about how one 4-minute audio recording brought down an entire family. March 23, 2024. 6:30 a.m. Construction worker Ahmed Hassan arrives at City Walk Mall for his 7 a.m. shift. He parks in the loading area behind the building, walks toward the service entrance. That is when he sees it, a dumpster with the lid open, something inside. He gets closer. The smell hits him. He looks inside. There is a body, woman, mid-20s, pregnant, wearing light-colored clothing, the same clothing from the security footage 3.5 hours earlier. Ahmed calls police. 6:33 a.m. Dubai. Police respond. 6:47 a.m. Patrol officers arrive, confirm the body. Homicide detectives are called. 7:15 a.m. Detective Captain Ibrahim Al-Farsi arrives. 22 years with Dubai Police Homicide Division. He has seen everything, but this makes him stop. The victim is young, heavily pregnant, and the scene is wrong. Too clean. No blood spatter, no defensive wounds in the surrounding area, just a body placed carefully, almost respectfully, in a dumpster, like someone wanted her found, but not immediately. The medical examiner arrives. 7:42 a.m. Preliminary assessment. Female, approximately 26 years old, approximately 7 months pregnant. Cause of death, manual strangulation. Time of death between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. Her work ID badge is still clipped to her shirt. Elite Concierge Services, Dubai. Callum Elena Santos, employee number 2847. Detective Al-Farsi makes a call to the company. 8 a.m. He speaks to the night manager. Callum Santos is a VIP call center agent, handles high-net-worth clients, has worked there since January 2022. Excellent performance, no disciplinary issues, no complaints. The manager says Callum was scheduled to work last night 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift, but she called in sick around 2 a.m., said she wasn't feeling well. Pregnancy complications. The manager approved her to leave early. Callum's last logged call ended 1:54 a.m. Detective Al-Farsi asks who the call was with. The manager hesitates, then says she needs to check the records. Calls back 20 minutes later. The call was with client reference number 0847 VIP confidential account. Detective Al-Farsi says he needs the name. The manager says she needs authorization from upper management. Detective Al-Farsi says this is a murder investigation. He will get a warrant if necessary. The manager puts him on hold. 3 minutes later, she comes back. The client is Sheikh Ryan Al-Muhari. Detective Al-Farsi goes very still. Sheikh Ryan Al-Muhari is not just wealthy, he is connected, distant cousin to the ruling family. Net worth estimated at $480 million. Construction empire, real estate development across UAE and Saudi Arabia. This is the kind of name that makes investigations complicated, the kind of name that can make evidence disappear, the kind of name that can end a detective's career. But Detective Al-Farsi has been doing this for 22 years. He knows how these cases work. If you hesitate, if you wait for permission, if you try to be political, the evidence vanishes, witnesses forget things, security footage gets erased. He makes a decision. He will treat this like any other homicide. He will follow the evidence wherever it leads, and if it leads to a sheikh, then it leads to a sheikh. Detective Al-Farsi goes to Callum's apartment. 9:30 a.m. Building 7, Unit 304, Marina Heights. The building manager lets him in. The apartment is small, 1-bedroom, neat, organized. There are baby items in the corner, a crib still in the box, a stroller, stuffed animals on the dresser. There are photographs. Callum with a man, both smiling. The man is Filipino, like her. Detective Al-Farsi finds the man's contact information in Callum's planner. Paulo Mendoza, fiancé. He calls Paulo. 10:15 a.m. Paulo is at work at Another call center Datacore Solutions different company Detective Al-Farsi asks him to come to the station. Paolo asks why. Detective Al-Farsi says it is about Callum. Paolo's voice changes. What happened to Callum? Detective Al-Farsi says he needs Paolo to come to the station now. Paolo arrives 11 a.m. Detective Al-Farsi takes him to a private room, sits him down, tells him Callum is dead. Paolo does not react at first, just stares. Then he asks how. Detective Al-Farsi says homicide, strangulation. Paolo stands up, tries to leave. Detective Al-Farsi stops him, asks him to sit. Paolo sits, his hands are shaking. Detective Al-Farsi asks, when was the last time you saw Callum? Paolo says yesterday, March 22nd around 4 p.m. She was leaving for her night shift at Elite Concierge. She seemed nervous. Paolo said he asked her what was wrong. She said she had to do something tonight, something that scared her, but she had to do it. Paolo asked what she meant. Callum said, if anything happens to me, check your email, check the cloud storage account we set up. Paolo did not understand. Callum kissed him, said I love you, said I will see you in the morning. Then she left. That was the last time Paolo saw her. Detective Al-Farsi asks, did Callum send you any messages last night? Paolo pulls out his phone, checks, says yes, one text message 2:56 a.m. The message says something bad is happening. I love you. Check your email in the morning. Go to police. Detective Al-Farsi asks, did you check your email? Paolo says no, I was at work on active calls. I did not see the text until my break at 6 a.m. I tried calling Callum. Her phone was off. I called her apartment. No answer. I was about to go to her building when you called. Detective Al-Farsi says check your email now. Paolo opens his email on his phone. There is a message from Callum sent 6 a.m. this morning. Subject line, if you are reading this, I am already dead. The email contains one attachment, audio file, 4 minutes 17 seconds. Detective Al-Farsi asks to hear it. Paolo plays it on his phone. The recording starts with ringing a woman's voice. Professional, scared Sheikh Al-Mahari. I need to understand these transfers. A man's voice, cold, authoritative. You will stop asking questions, Miss Santos. Then the woman. Callum says, but sir, there is an account in my name with $15,000 monthly deposits for 2 years. I never authorized this. The conversation continues for 4 minutes. Callum asking questions, the Sheikh deflecting, then threatening, your baby will never leave Dubai. You will disappear. I have done this before 3 times. Detective Al-Farsi listens to the entire recording. His expression does not change, but inside he knows this case just became something much bigger. Callum Santos did not just stumble onto an affair. She stumbled onto something that got 3 other women killed. Detective Al-Farsi takes Paolo's phone as evidence, uploads the audio file to the police server, sends it to forensic audio analysis, tells Paolo, do not speak to anyone about this recording, do not post it online, do not tell anyone you have it. Paolo asks why. Detective Al-Farsi says, because if the wrong people know this recording exists, you could be next. Paolo goes pale, asks, what do I do? Detective Al-Farsi says, go home, lock your doors, do not answer calls from unknown numbers. I will have officers watch your building. Paolo leaves the station 12:30 p.m. Detective Al-Farsi sits in his office listening to the recording again and again 3 times. Callum said the Sheikh admitted to doing this 3 times. That means 3 other victims, 3 other bodies somewhere in Dubai or buried in the desert or dissolved in acid or dumped in the ocean. 3 other families who think their daughters just disappeared, who think maybe they ran away, maybe they are living somewhere else, sending money home, except the money is not from them, it is from the Sheikh paying the families to stay quiet without the families even knowing. Detective Al-Farsi pulls records from Elite Concierge Services, requests all employees who worked with Sheikh Ryan Al-Mahari as their primary client in the last 10 years. The company sends over the file by 2 p.m. There are 4 names: Callum Santos, employed January 2022 to March 2024, status deceased; Linda Torres, employed March 2019 to August 2021, status left company; returned to Philippines; Carmen Reyes, employed January 2017 to November 2018, status left company; returned to Philippines; Ana Pascual, employed June 2020 to March 2021, status left company; transferred to Saudi Arabia. Detective Al-Farsi makes calls to the Philippine embassy in Dubai, asks for assistance locating 3 women by 4 p.m. He has answers. Linda Torres' family reported her missing August 2021. She never returned to Philippines. Her mother filed a missing person report with Dubai police. Case was closed after 3 months. Insufficient evidence. Carmen Reyes' family reported her missing November 2018. Same story, never returned home. Dubai police closed the case after 2 months. Ana Pascual family reported her missing March 2021. Same story, case closed. Detective Al-Farsi pulls the old case files. All 3 cases were handled by the same detective, Lieutenant Khalid Rahman, who retired in 2022. Detective Al-Farsi calls Rahman 5 p.m., asks him about the cases. Rahman remembers them, says foreign workers go missing all the time. Usually they run away with boyfriends, or they get into visa trouble and hide, or they go to other countries without telling their families. He says he investigated all 3 cases, found no evidence of foul play. The families kept insisting something was wrong, but families always think that Rahman says he did his job thoroughly. Detective Al-Farsi asks, did you interview Sheikh Ryan Al-Muhari in any of these cases? Rahman goes quiet, then says, why would I? The Sheikh had nothing to do with those women. Detective Al-Farsi says they all worked for him, specifically handled his accounts exclusively. Rahman says, so what? The Sheikh uses elite concierge all the time, probably has 50 different agents over the years. Detective Al-Farsi says these 4 were different. These 4 were assigned to him exclusively for approximately 2 years each, then they disappeared. Rahman's tone changes. He asks, what are you implying? Detective Al-Farsi says, I am not implying anything. I am stating facts. 4 women, 4 disappearances, 1 common connection. Rahman says you are making a serious accusation against a very powerful man. I hope you know what you are doing. Detective Al-Farsi says, I am doing my job. The call ends. By 6 p.m. March 23, Detective Al-Farsi knows 3 things. 1. Callum Santos discovered financial discrepancies in Sheikh Ryan's accounts. 2. Callum recorded the Sheikh threatening her life and admitting to killing 3 other women. 3. Those 3 other women worked the same job, handled the same accounts, and all vanished under suspicious circumstances that Dubai police dismissed as voluntary departures. Now Detective Al-Farsi has to prove it. He has to find the bodies. He has to trace the money. He has to build a case against one of the most powerful men in Dubai, and he has to do it before someone makes this investigation disappear, just like they made 4 women disappear. To understand why Callum Santos died, you need to understand who she was and how she became the 4th name on a list she never knew existed. Callum Elena Santos, born April 14, 1998, Cebu City, Philippines, eldest of 4 siblings. Her father died when she was 16. Heart attack, sudden, no warning. The family had no savings, no insurance. Callum was in her 2nd year of high school. She could have dropped out, gotten a job at a factory or a call center in Cebu. Instead, she stayed in school, worked night shifts at a 24-hour convenience store, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. 5 nights a week. She graduated high school 2016, top 10% of her class. She got a scholarship to University of San Carlos, studied business communications, worked 2 jobs while attending classes full-time. Graduated 2020 with honors during the pandemic when jobs were scarce, when call centers were laying off thousands. Callum got hired at a regional call center in Manila, customer service for an international telecommunications company. She was good at it, polite, patient, efficient, never lost her temper, even with the worst customers. By 2021, she was a senior agent training new hires, handling escalated complaints. Her supervisor told her, you should go overseas, UAE, Singapore, Hong Kong. They pay triple what you make here. You could support your whole family. Callum thought about it. Her mother was getting older. Her siblings needed money for school. The house in Cebu needed repairs. The roof leaked every monsoon season. She applied to overseas placement agencies. By December 2021, she had an offer: elite concierge services, Dubai, 2-year contract, 8,000 AED per month, approximately $2,180 plus housing allowance, health insurance, visa sponsorship. Callum accepted. She told her family she would be gone for 2 years, send money every month, save enough to come home and start a small business, maybe a convenience store or a laundry service, something stable, something that would not require her to leave again. Callum arrived in Dubai January 12, 2022, age 23. The company put her in a shared apartment with 3 other Filipina call center agents, building 7 Marina Heights. The apartment was small, but clean. Her roommates were friendly. They showed her around, taught her how to use the metro, where to buy Filipino groceries, which remittance centers had the best rates. Callum started training January 17th. Elite concierge services was different from her previous job. This was not customer service for regular people. This was VIP concierge for ultra-high net worth individuals, billionaires, royals, diplomats, celebrities. The clients did not call to complain about their phone bills. They called to arrange private jet charters, to book entire floors of luxury hotels, to coordinate million-dollar wire transfers. The training was intensive. Confidentiality agreements, non-disclosure contracts, security clearances. Callum signed everything. The company explained the job: you will be assigned to specific clients. They will call you directly, sometimes at unusual hours. Your job is to fulfill their requests. No matter how unusual, no matter how demanding, you do not ask questions, you do not judge, you execute. Callum understood this was not a job where you could say no. This was a job where you said yes, sir, right away, sir. Callum's first call came January 24th, 2022, 2:34 a.m. She was on night shift, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. The phone system routed a call to her station. She answered. Elite concierge services, this is Callum. How may I assist you? The voice on the other end was male, middle-aged, Emirati accent. He said, I need to transfer $250,000 from account ending in 7743 to account ending in 2891. Immediately Callum confirmed his identity using the security protocols, asked him to verify his date of birth, his mother's maiden name, his security code, everything checked out. She processed the transfer. It took 4 minutes. The man thanked her and hung up. Callum logged the call, filed the transfer confirmation, moved on to the next task. She did not know that call would change her life. Over the next 6 weeks, Callum handled calls from various VIP clients, sometimes 3 or 4 per shift, sometimes none. The clients were demanding but predictable. They wanted efficiency, discretion, speed. Callum provided all 3. Her performance reviews were excellent. Her supervisor noted 0 errors, 100% client satisfaction, exemplary professionalism. Then March 1st, 2022, the same client from January called again, 2:41 a.m., but this time a different agent answered. The client asked for the Filipina woman who handled my transfer in January. The agent did not know who he meant, transferred the call to a supervisor. The supervisor checked the records, saw Callum's name, called Callum over. Callum took the call. The client said, I want you to handle all my requests from now on, coordinate with your management. Callum said, yes, sir. The call ended. 3 days later, Callum's supervisor called her into the office, said, you have been assigned as dedicated agent to client reference number 0847 VIP confidential account. This is a significant assignment. This client is extremely important. You will handle all his calls personally. Callum asked, who is the client? The supervisor said, Sheikh Ryan Al-Muhari. Callum had never heard the name. The supervisor explained, he is a major client, very wealthy, very connected, very particular about his service. You were specifically requested. Do not disappoint him. Callum said, I will not. March 2022 to December 2022, Callum handled the Sheikh's calls 3 to 4 times per week, always between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. Dubai time. The requests were always the same: transfer X amount from account A to account B. The amounts varied: $50,000 one day, $800,000 another day, sometimes $15,000, sometimes $1.2 million. Callum's job was simple: verify identity, confirm account numbers, process transfer, send confirmation. She was not supposed to analyze patterns. She was not supposed to ask why. She was supposed to execute. By December 2022, Callum had processed over $47 million in transfers for the Sheikh. She kept meticulous personal notes to ensure accuracy. She logged every call, every transfer, every account number. This was not required by the company, but Callum was thorough. She wanted 0 errors. She wanted perfect performance, because perfect performance meant job security, and job security meant money for her family. In December 2022, Callum noticed something odd. One account received exactly $15,000 on the 1st of every month, like clockwork. The account name was M. Santos Holdings LLC. Callum thought it was a coincidence. Santos is a common Filipino surname. She did not think much of it until December 15th, when she received a letter in the mail from a bank in Dubai. The letter said, statement for account ending in 4892 M. Santos Holdings LLC. Callum did not recognize the account number. She called the bank, said, there must be a mistake. I do not have an account with you. The bank representative checked the records, said the account was open March 2022 in your name. We have your passport copy, your visa copy, your Emirates ID. Callum said, that is impossible. I never opened this account. The representative said, would you like to come in and review the documents? Callum scheduled an appointment December 20th. December 20th, 2022, Callum went to the bank. During her day off, she met with an account manager, a British woman named Sarah, who pulled up the account records. The account was opened March 14th, 2022, with an initial deposit of $15,000 every month. Since then, another $15,000 deposited. Total current balance $150,000. Sarah showed Callum the account opening documents. There was a photocopy of Callum's passport, a copy of her visa, a copy of her Emirates ID, and a signature. Callum looked at the signature. It was not hers. It was close, but not exact. The loops were different. The slant was wrong. Callum said, this is forged. Sarah examined the signature closely, said, you may be right, but it passed our initial verification. Callum asked, where is the money coming from? Sarah checked the records, said the deposits come from an account registered to Al-Muhari Family Trust personal allowance account. Callum went cold. Al-Muhari, that is my client. Sarah said, this is not uncommon. Wealthy clients sometimes set up accounts for domestic staff, drivers, housekeepers, nannies. It is a way to provide bonuses or gifts without direct cash transfers. Callum said, but I am not his domestic staff. I am a call center agent. I have never even met him in person. Sarah said, regardless, someone used your identity to open this account. You have 3 options: 1, keep the account and the money; 2, close the account and return the money; 3, report it as identity theft and we investigate. Callum asked, what happens if we investigate? Sarah said we would need to contact the source of the funds, the account holder would be notified, there would be questions. Callum thought about this. The Sheikh is powerful, he has connections. If she reports this as theft, he will know, he might retaliate, he might get her fired, he might get her visa revoked, she could be deported. Callum said, I need time to think about this, can you freeze the account for now? Sarah said, yes, I can place a hold for 30 days. Callum left the bank confused and scared. Callum did not know what to do. She could not ask her supervisor because her supervisor might tell the Sheikh. She could not go to the police because she had no proof of wrongdoing. She could not ignore it because this was identity theft and $150,000 in an account she never opened. She decided to do something risky. She decided to investigate. She went back to her personal logs, the spreadsheet where she tracked all the Sheikh's transfers. She started analyzing patterns, looking for anything unusual. That is when she founded another account, El Torres Holdings LLC. This account had received $15,000 monthly from March 2019 to August 2021, total $450,000. Then the payments stopped. Callum remembered Linda Torres. She was an agent at Elite Concierge. She left in August 2021. The company said she returned to Philippines. Callum had never met Linda, but she knew the name. Callum searched deeper, found two more accounts. C. Reyes Holdings LLC received $15,000 monthly from January 2017 to November 2018. A. Pascual Holdings LLC received $15,000 monthly from June 2020 to March 2021. Callum checked the company directory. Carmen Reyes left November 2018, returned to Philippines. Ana Pascual left March 2021, transferred to Saudi Arabia. 4 accounts, 4 Filipino women, all receiving $15,000 monthly, all handling the Sheikh's accounts, all gone. Callum felt sick. This was not a coincidence, this was a pattern. January 2023, Callum tried to find Linda Torres, Carmen Reyes, Ana Pascual. She searched social media, found Carmen's Facebook page, last post November 2018, then nothing. She found Anna's Instagram, last post March 2021. Then nothing. Linda had no social media presence. Callum found contact information for their families in the Philippines. She called Linda's mother, pretended to be a former co-worker, said she was trying to reconnect with Linda. Linda's mother started crying, said my daughter never came home, she left Dubai. August 2021, said she was coming home but never arrived. We reported her missing. The police in Dubai said she probably ran away. Callum asked, do you still receive money from Dubai? Linda's mother said, yes, every month $1,000 from a company called Almoheri Employee Benefits. We thought it was her salary being sent automatically. We thought maybe she was still working somewhere and could not contact us, but it has been almost 2 years and we have not heard from her. Callum hung up, called Carmen's family, same story. Carmen never came home. Family reported her missing. Money still arrives. Monthly $1,000. Callum called Anna's family, same story. Anna disappeared. Family still receives money. Callum realized the truth. The Sheikh was not creating these accounts as bonuses. He was creating them as cover financial trails to make it look like these women were his mistresses. When they discovered the accounts, when they asked questions, they disappeared. Their families were paid off monthly, so they would not push too hard, so they would think their daughters were alive somewhere working, sending money home, but the women were not alive. Callum was certain of that. And Callum was next. She had the same account, the same $15,000 monthly deposits, the same pattern. She was 4 months into the cycle. Linda had lasted 30 months. Carmen had lasted 23 months. Anna had lasted 10 months. Callum did not know how long she had, but she knew it was not forever. She had to act, but she needed proof. She needed evidence that would survive, even if she did not. That is when Callum bought the recording device, February 2023, a small digital recorder with cloud backup. She set it up to automatically upload every recording to 3 secure servers: her email, Paolo's email, her sister's email in the Philippines. She tested it worked perfectly. Now she just needed the Sheikh to incriminate himself. She waited March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October 2023, processing his calls, documenting everything, waiting for the right moment. Then October 2023, Callum discovered she was pregnant 6 weeks along. She told Paolo he proposed immediately. They planned a wedding June 2024 in Cebu. Callum would finish her contract January 2025, return home, permanently raise the baby with Paolo's help. They would be safe, they would be together, but Callum's contract was not the issue. The issue was the Sheikh would not let her leave, not if she knew about the accounts, not if she could expose him. Callum had 9 months until her baby was born, 9 months to gather evidence, 9 months to record him admitting what he had done. She continued working, continued processing his transfers, continued playing the role of the perfect obedient agent, and on March 23, 2024 at 2:47 a.m. Callum Santos made the call that would cost her everything. March 23, 2024. 2:30 a.m. Callum Santos sits in her apartment building 7 Unit 304 Marina Heights. She cannot sleep. The baby is kicking. Her back hurts. She is 7 months pregnant. Paolo is at work night shift at Datacore Solutions. Different building, different company. He will not be home until 7 a.m. Callum has been planning this for weeks. The confrontation, the recording. She has rehearsed what she will say, how she will ask the questions. She needs him to admit it on tape, needs him to confess to the other women, needs evidence that will survive. Even if she does not, she picks up her phone, checks the recording app. It is set to auto-upload to 3 cloud storage accounts. Hers, Paolo's, her sister's in the Philippines. She tests it, speaks into the phone, test, checks the upload. It works. She takes a breath, says a prayer, then she dials the Elite Concierge back-end system, enters the Sheikh's private number. The system connects. The phone rings once, twice, 3 times. He answers on the 4th ring. His voice is alert, awake. He has insomnia, always awake between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. Miss Santos, it is late. What requires immediate attention? Callum's hands are shaking. She says, Sheikh Al-Mohari, I apologize for calling outside your regular request pattern, but I need to discuss something urgent regarding account discrepancies. There is a pause, 5 seconds of silence, then the Sheikh says, what discrepancies? Callum says, there is an account registered in my name, M. Santos Holdings LLC, that has been receiving $15,000 monthly deposits for the past 2 years. I did not open this account. Another pause, longer this time, 8 seconds. The Sheikh says, I see, and why are you bringing this to my attention now? Callum says, because I believe this is identity theft and I need your authorization to close the account and return the funds. The Sheikh's voice changes, gets colder. He says, Miss Santos, that account was opened for your benefit. Consider it a bonus for excellent service. Callum says, sir, with respect, I never authorized this. I have also discovered 3 other similar accounts. Linda Torres, Carmen Reyes, Ana Pascual, all former agents who handled your accounts, all received monthly payments, all disappeared. The word hangs in the air, disappeared. The Sheikh says nothing for 10 seconds. Callum can hear him breathing. Then he says, you have been investigating me. Callum's voice is steady. She says, I have been trying to understand why my identity was used without my consent. The Sheikh says, those women were ungrateful. I was generous to them, and they betrayed me. Callum says, Sir, Linda Torres's family says she never returned home. Carmen Reyes's mother filed a missing person report. Anna. The Sheikh interrupts, his voice now angry. You will stop asking questions, Miss Santos. Callum says, I am 7 months pregnant. I am returning to the Philippines in January. I just want to close this account. And the Sheikh cuts her off, says, your baby will never leave Dubai. Callum's breathing quickens on the recording. You can hear it. She says, what? The Sheikh says, you will disappear. Do you understand? I have done this before 3 times. Each one thought they were clever. Each one thought they could threaten me. Callum's voice is shaking now. She says, I am not threatening you. I am asking. The Sheikh says, you think the police will believe you? A pregnant Filipina call center worker accusing a member of the royal family. Your body will be found in the desert just like the others, or perhaps a tragic accident, a fall. These things happen to pregnant women. Callum says, I am recording this conversation. There is a long pause, 4 seconds. Then the Sheikh's voice becomes terrifyingly calm. He says, then you have just ensured your death will be immediate instead of negotiable. Where are you right now? Callum is panicking. She says, I am at home. The Sheikh says, what is your address? Miss Santos, actually do not answer. I already know. You live in building 7 Unit 304 Marina Heights. You walk to work, 15-minute walk down Al-Khaleej Street. You are alone right now. Your fiancé works night shift at Datacore Solutions. Callum is crying now. She says, please. The Sheikh says, the recording means nothing without you alive to testify. And in Dubai, foreign workers disappear all the time. Industrial accidents, visa problems, deportations. Your family will receive $1,000 monthly for the rest of their lives. They will believe you abandoned them just like the others' families. Believe. Callum says, I have already uploaded. The Sheikh says, I do not care what you have uploaded. By morning you will be gone, your phone destroyed, and any recording will be dismissed as fabricated. I have made this problem disappear 3 times. Your problem number for the call ends. Timestamp 2:51 and 17 seconds a.m. Total call duration 4 minutes 17 seconds. 2:52 a.m. The recording automatically uploads to 3 security cameras in the lobby. They record her exiting. She looks terrified, keeps looking over her shoulder. She walks fast, almost running down the hallway into the elevator. The elevator camera shows her clutching her pregnant belly, her other hand holding her phone. She is trying to call someone. The call does not connect. The elevator reaches the ground floor. She exits through the main door onto Al-Khaleej Street. 2:57 a.m. The 24-hour pharmacy security camera picks her up here. 2:58 a.m. She is walking fast, heading toward the main road, toward Sheikh Zayed Road, where there are taxis, where there are people, where there is light. She keeps looking back every few steps, checking if anyone is following her. Right hand on her belly, left hand holding the phone to her ear. She is calling Paolo again. Still no answer. She tries the police emergency number 999. It rings. She is about to speak when she sees the headlights. 3:02 and 14 seconds a.m. A black Mercedes sedan enters, the frame moving slowly. The woman sees it, speeds up, tries to move toward the pharmacy entrance. The Mercedes accelerates, pulls alongside her. 3:02 and 28 seconds a.m. Two men exit, both wearing white Kandura's traditional Emirati dress. One is tall, approximately 6 feet. The other is shorter, stockier. Both move with purpose, with coordination. This is rehearsed. They have done this before. Callum turns to run, but she is 7 months pregnant. She cannot run fast. The tall man grabs her right arm. She drops her phone. It hits the pavement screen first. The glass shatters. You can see it even in the low resolution of the pharmacy camera. She is screaming. Her mouth is open, her head thrown back. But there is no audio on this camera. No one hears her. The shorter man grabs her left arm. Together they drag her toward the Mercedes. She fights. She plants her feet. She tries to pull away, but she has no leverage. The baby throws off her balance. Her center of gravity is wrong. She cannot break free. 3:02 and 41 seconds a.m. They force her into the back seat of the Mercedes. The tall man climbs in after her, pins her down. The shorter man gets in the driver's seat. 3:02 and 47 seconds a.m. The Mercedes drives away, heading east toward Jebel Ali, toward the industrial areas, toward the warehouses. The camera records for another 40 seconds. Callum's phone remains on the sidewalk, screen cracked but still illuminated. The display shows Paolo's contact photo, an incoming call that will never be answered, and there is something else. A small pool of liquid spreading on the pavement. Amniotic fluid. Her water broke during the struggle. Her baby is coming, and she is in the back of a car with two men who have been paid to kill her. 3:15 a.m. Traffic cameras on Sheikh Zayed Road pick up the Mercedes heading southwest toward Jebel Ali. 3:28 a.m. The Mercedes enters an industrial area, warehouse district. No streetlights, no cameras, no witnesses. 3:31 a.m. The vehicle turns into a gated compound. Al-Muhari Construction Company. The gate is open. Someone was expecting them. The Mercedes drives to the back of the main warehouse building, parks next to a loading dock. The cameras here are disabled, have been disabled for weeks specifically. For this 3:34 a.m. two men drag Callum from the back seat. She is conscious, still fighting, but weaker now. The contractions have started. Her baby is in distress. Inside the warehouse, there are 3 other people waiting. Sheikh Ryan Al-Muhari, age 58, wearing a white Kandura and gutra. He is smoking a cigarette, leaning against a metal table. Next to him, Sheikha Amira Al-Muhari, age 52, his wife, wearing an abaya and shayla. She is calm, expressionless, watching, and standing near the door. Hamdan Al-Muhari, age 25, the Sheikh's younger son. He looks nervous, uncomfortable. He did not want to be here, but his father insisted. You need to see how we handle problems. The 2 men, Fahad Al-Nakbi, age 42, head of security for the Sheikh, and Muhammad Al-Dahiri, age 38. The Sheikh's personal driver, bring Callum inside, force her to her knees in front of the Sheikh. Callum is sobbing. She says, "Please, I have a baby. Please do not do this." The Sheikh looks down at her, says, "You should have stayed quiet. You should have processed the transfers and asked no questions like the others before you who stayed quiet." Callum says, "The others are dead." The Sheikh says, "Yes, they are, and their families believe they are alive, working, sending money home, just like your family will believe." Sheikha Amira steps forward, says, "Make it quick. We have limited time before morning shift." Workers arrive at the eastern warehouses. Fahad moves behind Callum. She tries to stand, tries to run. Muhammad grabs her arms, holds her still. Hamdan turns away, cannot watch. His mother says, "Watch, this is your inheritance. This is how we protect what is ours." Fahad wraps his hands around Callum's neck. She struggles, kicks her legs, her hands claw at his arms. She is strong, she fights for 90 seconds, but Fahad is stronger, as trained is. Methodical. Callum's movements slow, her eyes close, her body goes limp. 3:47 a.m. Callum Elena Santos is dead. Her baby dies with her. Never took a breath, never had a chance, never had a name. Sheikha Amira checks for a pulse, says, "It is done. Wrap her, take her to the disposal site, make sure she is found, but not immediately. We need time to prepare the narrative." They wrap Callum's body in construction plastic, the kind used for insulation. They load her into the Mercedes. Fahad and Muhammad will handle disposal. The Sheikh and his wife and his son leave in a separate vehicle, a Range Rover, black tinted windows. They drive back to their palace in Emirates Hills. Arrive 4:32 a.m. The Sheikh goes to his office, pours a whiskey, sits in his leather chair. Sheikha Amira goes to her bedroom, removes her abaya, showers, changes into sleeping clothes, gets into bed. She falls asleep within 10 minutes. Hamdan sits in his car in the driveway for 20 minutes. His hands are shaking. He has just watched 2 men murder a pregnant woman, has just heard her beg for her baby's life, has just seen his mother give the order his father watch. Without emotion, Hamdan texts his older brother Khalid, age 28, says, "I cannot do this anymore." Khalid responds, "Do what?" Hamdan deletes the message, does not reply, goes inside, goes to his room, does not sleep. 4:47 a.m. Fahad and Muhammad arrive at City Walk Mall. They carry Callum's wrapped body to the dumpster area behind the building. There are no cameras here. The loading zone cameras point toward the delivery bays, not the dumpsters. They place her body inside a commercial dumpster scheduled for pickup at 7 a.m. They leave the area. 4:52 a.m. Drive back to the warehouse, park the Mercedes inside, wipe down the interior, dispose Of their kanduras, burn them in an oil drum, wash their hands. Muhammad says this is the fourth one. Fahad says it gets easier. Muhammad says does it? Fahad does not answer. They go home. Muhammad to his apartment in Al-Quaz, Fahad to his villa in Arabian Ranches. Both arrive before sunrise, both shower, both get into bed next to their wives, both close their eyes, neither sleeps. 6 a.m. The timed emails send. Paulo receives the audio file at his work computer. He is on an active call. When the notification pops up, he ignores it, finishes the call, then opens the email, sees the subject line, "If you are reading this, I am already dead." His stomach drops. He clicks the audio file, listens. Callum's voice, the Sheikh's threats, the admission, "I have done this before." 3 times. Paulo runs to the bathroom, vomits, calls Callum's phone, no answer, calls again, no answer. He leaves work. Immediately 6:12 a.m. drives toward Marina Heights, calls Dubai police from his car, reports Callum missing. The operator takes his information, says an officer will follow up. Paulo says, "No, you do not understand. She is in danger. I have a recording. She was threatened." The operator says, "Sir, please stay calm. Where are you now?" Paulo gives his location. The operator says, "Officers are being dispatched to your location. Stay on the line." 6:18 a.m. 2 patrol officers intercept Paulo's vehicle on Sheikh Zayed Road. They take him to Dubai police station for questioning while Paulo is giving his statement. 6:30 a.m. Ahmed Hassan finds Callum's body behind City Walk Mall. Detective Captain Ibrahim Al-Farsi listens to Paulo's audio recording for the third time. 1 p.m. March 23rd. The recording is damning clear, undeniable. The Sheikh's voice admitting to killing 3 women, threatening Callum, describing exactly how her body would be disposed of. This is not circumstantial, this is confession, but Detective Al-Farsi knows confession or not, this case will be nearly impossible to prosecute. The Sheikh is connected, wealthy, protected, the kind of man who makes evidence disappear, the kind of man who has judges and prosecutors and police officials in his pocket. Detective Al-Farsi sends the audio file to the forensic analysis team, tells them priority level 1, I need voice authentication, I need metadata verification, I need this to be bulletproof. The team says it will take 48 hours. Detective Al-Farsi says you have 24. Detective Al-Farsi assembles his team. 2 p.m. Lieutenant Sarah Mitchell, British expat, financial crimes specialist Sergeant Ahmed Ryan, Emirati digital forensics expert Corporal Nina Alvarez, Filipina community liaison officer. He briefs them on the case, shows them Callum's body, shows them the audio recording, shows them the pattern. 4 women, all Filipina, all call center agents, all handling the same client's accounts, all disappeared. Nina Alvarez says, I know these families. Linda, Torres's mother, contacts me every month asking for updates on her daughter's case. Carmen Reyes's father does the same. I keep telling them we have no new leads, but I always felt something was wrong. Detective Al-Farsi says your instinct was correct, something was very wrong. Sarah Mitchell asks about the money, the $15,000 monthly payments. Detective Al-Farsi says that is your priority, trace every dollar, find out where it came from, where it went, who authorized it. Sarah says I will need access to the Sheikh's banking records. Detective Al-Farsi says get a warrant. Ahmed Ryan says getting a warrant for a Sheikh's financial records will require approval from the public prosecutor. Detective Al-Farsi says then we get approval. 3 p.m. Detective Al-Farsi meets with public prosecutor Fatima Al-Mansouri. She is 48 years old, Emirati, educated at Oxford Law School, reputation for being incorruptible. Detective Al-Farsi presents the case, the audio recording, the pattern, the bodies. Fatima listens without interrupting. When he finishes, she says, this is the most dangerous case you will ever work. The Sheikh has resources, has connections, has the ability to make this entire investigation collapse. Detective Al-Farsi says, I know. Fatima says if we pursue this, we pursue it all the way, no half measures, no political calculations. We either take him down completely or we do not start at all, because if we start and fail, he will bury us. Detective Al-Farsi says, I understand the risks. Fatima says, do you? Because I am not just talking about your career, I am talking about your safety, the safety of your family. The Sheikh does not just destroy careers, he destroys lives. Detective Al-Farsi says Callum Santos was 26 years old, 7 months pregnant. She recorded him threatening her life because she knew no one would believe her without proof. She died trying to create evidence that would outlast her. If I do not pursue this case, her courage meant nothing. Fatima is quiet for a moment, then says, I will authorize the warrants, but we need more than the audio recording. We need physical evidence. We need the other bodies. We need witnesses. We need a case so strong that no amount of money or influence can dismantle it. March 24th, 6 a.m. Forensic audio team confirms the recording is authentic, no editing, no manipulation. Voice pattern analysis confirms 99.7% probability the male voice belongs to Sheikh Ryan Al-Muhari. Metadata confirms the recording was made March 23rd, 2:47 a.m. Uploaded to cloud storage 2:52 a.m. Detective Al-Farsi now has verified evidence. 10 a.m. Sarah Mitchell gets the warrant, accesses Sheikh Ryan's banking records. What she finds makes her go very still. The Al-Muhari Family Trust Established 1987 by the Sheikh's father. Initial value $180 million. Current value should be approximately $240 million. Accounting for investments and growth. Actual current value $171.6 million. Missing $68.4 million. Over 16 years. Average $4.3 million per year. Sarah traces the outflows, finds a pattern. Unauthorized transfers to 14 different LLC accounts, all registered in Dubai, all using variations of Filipino names: M. Santos Holdings, L. Torres Holdings, C. Reyes Holdings, A. Pascual Holdings, and 10 others. Names of women who worked for Elite Concierge Services between 2008 and 2024. The earliest account dates back to 2008. That means Callum was not the fourth victim. Callum was at least the 14th. Sarah presents her findings to Detective Al-Farsi 3 p.m. March 24. She says the Sheikh has been embezzling from his own family trust for 16 years using fake accounts registered with identities of Filipino call center workers. When the women discovered the discrepancies, they were eliminated. Detective Al-Farsi says we need to find the other bodies. Sarah says I contacted Elite Concierge Services, requested employment records for all agents assigned to Sheikh Ryan between 2008 and 2024. There are 18 names. 14 are listed as left company, returned to Philippines, or transferred to other locations. 4 are still working. Callum was one of the 4 before she died. Detective Al-Farsi says contact the families of the 14, find out how many actually made it home. Sarah makes the calls over the next 6 hours. The results are devastating. Out of 14 women, only 3 actually returned to the Philippines. The other 11 families reported them missing between 2008 and 2024. All 11 cases were closed by Dubai Police classified as voluntary disappearances. All 11 families are still receiving monthly payments $1,000 from Al-Muhari Employee Benefits, a shell company owned by the Sheikh. March 25, Detective Al-Farsi brings in the Sheikh's son Hamdan Al-Muhari. 10 a.m. Hamdan arrives with 3 lawyers. Detective Al-Farsi shows him traffic camera footage from March 23. The black Mercedes registered to Hamdan entering Al-Muhari Construction Company warehouse 3:28 a.m. Exiting 4:21 a.m. Hamdan's lawyers advise him to say nothing. Detective Al-Farsi says your car was used to kidnap and murder Callum Santos. We have footage, we have witnesses, we have forensic evidence. Your DNA will be all over that vehicle. When we process it, you have one chance to cooperate. Hamdan looks at his lawyers. They shake their heads. Hamdan ignores them, says I want a deal. Detective Al-Farsi says tell me everything and I will recommend reduced charges. Hamdan says I need it in writing. The deal is drafted. Hamdan signs. Then he talks for 4 hours. He describes his role, providing the vehicle, waiting at the warehouse, watching the murder. He names everyone involved: his father Sheikh Ryan, his mother Sheikha Amira, the 2 killers Fahad and Muhammad. He says this was not the first time he had witnessed this. He had been present for 2 previous murders in 2021. Both times his mother supervised. Both times his father watched. He says my mother ran the operation, my father handled the money, but my mother handled the cleanup. She decided when someone knew too much, she decided how they would be eliminated. She was always calm, always clinical, like she was managing a business problem, not ordering murders. March 26, Detective Al-Farsi arrests Fahad Al-Nakbi and Muhammad Al-Dahiri. 6 a.m. Coordinated raids. Both men are taken from their homes. Both initially refuse to cooperate. Muhammad cracks first. 2 p.m. He says I will tell you where the bodies are, all of them, but I want a deal. Detective Al-Farsi says how many bodies? Muhammad says I was involved in 4: Callum Santos, Linda Torres, Ana Pascual, Carmen Reyes. But there are more from before I started. Fahad was the Sheikh's head of security since 2007. He knows where all of them are. Detective Al-Farsi brings Fahad back, says your partner is talking, he is giving us locations, he is making a deal, you can either cooperate or face the death penalty alone. Fahad is silent for 20 minutes, then says I want the same deal. Muhammad is getting 25 years. Detective Al-Farsi says agreed. Fahad says there is a construction site Dubai South near the airport, warehouses built 2018 to 2021. 3 bodies are buried under the concrete foundation of warehouse unit 14. There are more at other sites. I kept records. March 30, forensic teams excavate warehouse unit 14. Ground penetrating radar detects 3 anomalies beneath the concrete floor. They drill break through the foundation. 11:30 a.m. First body located 2.4 meters deep, wrapped in plastic skeletal remains. Dental records later confirm Linda Torres buried September 2021. April 1st. Second body located 3.1 meters from the first. Dental records confirm Carmen Reyes buried December 2018. April 2nd. Third body located 2.8 meters from second. Dental records confirm Ana Pascual buried April 2021. All 3 causes of death: manual strangulation. All 3 had defensive wounds. All three had DNA evidence that matched Fahad and Muhammad. Forensic analysis of the construction site shows the concrete was poured in 3 separate phases: September 2018, April 2021, September 2021, each phase coinciding with a burial. The warehouse was built specifically to hide bodies. The Sheikh owned the construction company, controlled the site, had access 24 hours a day. Workers were told the family wanted to personally oversee quality. No one questioned why the Sheikh and his wife visited construction sites at 3 a.m. April 3. Fahad provides more locations: a villa in Al Burshad demolished 2015, 2 bodies buried in the garden before demolition, a farm in Lebab south of Dubai, 4 bodies buried near the irrigation system between 2009 and 2013, a commercial building foundation in Business Bay, 1 body buried, 2016. Forensic teams spend 3 weeks excavating. By April 24, they have recovered 10 bodies total, all female, all Filipino, all former elite concierge services employees, all reported missing between 2008 and 2021. All families were receiving monthly payments believing their daughters were alive somewhere. Working dental records and DNA confirm identities. Callum Santos was not the 4th victim, she was the 11th in 16 years. April 6. 5 a.m. Detective Al-Farsi arrives at the Sheikh's Palace, Emirates Hills, with 20 officers, a warrant, and international media already notified. The Sheikh answers the door in his Kandura calm composed says, "Yes, detective, how may I help you?" Detective Al-Farsi says, "Sheikh Ryan Al-Mohari, you are under arrest for 11 counts of first-degree murder." The Sheikh does not resist, says, "I will call my lawyers." Detective Al-Farsi says, "You can call them from the station." Sheikha Amira is arrested. Simultaneously, she says nothing, does not ask why, does not protest, just walks to the police vehicle with her head high, her abaya flowing behind her. Both are taken to Dubai Police Headquarters. Both are photographed, fingerprinted, processed. The photos leak within hours. International news picks it up by noon. April 6th. The story is global. Dubai Sheikh arrested for serial murder of Filipino workers. The audio recording of Callum's final call leaks online, goes viral, 50 million views in 24 hours. People around the world hear Callum's voice, hear her begging for her baby's life, hear the Sheikh threatening her, admitting to killing 3 others, actually 10 others, but he lost count. April 8th, the Philippine president issues a statement. Callum Santos and all victims deserve justice. No one is above the law. The Philippine embassy coordinates with all victims' families, flies them to Dubai, provides accommodation, legal support. 11 mothers, fathers, siblings arrive April 10th. They visit the morgue, identify remains that have been missing for years, some for over a decade. They weep, they rage, they demand answers. Detective Al-Farsi meets with them, says, "Your daughters discovered financial crimes. They were killed to keep them silent. They were brave, they were thorough, they documented what they found, but they were up against people with unlimited resources and no conscience." Callum Santos recorded the evidence that broke this case open. Her courage saved future lives, even though it could not save her own. The families ask, what happens now? Detective Al-Farsi says, trial is set for July. All defendants will face justice, I promise you that. July 15th. 2024 Dubai Criminal Court. The trial begins 9 a.m. The courtroom is packed. International media, Philippine embassy officials, victims' families, public observers, over 200 people. Security is unprecedented. Metal detectors, armed guards, plainclothes officers throughout the building. This is the highest profile murder trial in UAE history. A sheikh and his wife accused of serial murder of foreign workers. The prosecution team is led by Fatima Al-Mansuri. She has spent 3 months building this case, reviewing every document, every audio file, every forensic report. She knows this trial will define her career. The defense has 8 lawyers for Sheikh Ryan, 6 for Sheikha Amira, all top tier, all expensive, all prepared to fight every single piece of evidence. The defendants enter. Sheikh Ryan, wearing a pristine white kandura and gutra, walks with his head high, shows no emotion. Sheikha Amira in black abaya and Shayla sits beside him, equally expressionless. They do not look at the victims. Families do not acknowledge the cameras, do not show any sign of remorse. Fatima Al-Mansuri stands, begins her opening statement. This case is about power, about greed, about what happens when people believe they are above the law. Between 2008 and 2024, Sheikh Ryan Al-Mohari embezzled $68.4 million from his family trust to hide this crime. He created fake accounts using the identities of Filipino women who worked for elite concierge services. These women processed his financial transactions. They were efficient, they were thorough, and eventually they noticed discrepancies. When they asked questions, they were murdered. 11 women over 16 years, all killed the same way, all buried in construction sites, all replaced by the next woman who would handle the Sheikh's accounts until she, too, noticed something wrong. Callum Santos was the 11th victim. She was 26 years old, 7 months pregnant, and she knew what happened to the women before her. So she did something extraordinary. She recorded the Sheikh threatening her life. She uploaded that recording to a secure server, and even though she was murdered 3 hours later, that recording survived. and that recording will convict these defendants of 11 counts of first-degree murder. Fatima plays the audio recording in open court. The courtroom goes silent. You can hear Callum's voice. Professional at first, then scared, then desperate. Sheikh Al-Muhari, I need to understand these transfers. The Sheikh's voice cold, dismissive, threatening. Your baby will never leave Dubai. You will disappear. I have done this before 3 times. Several people in the gallery are crying. By the time the recording ends, the Sheikh stares straight ahead, shows nothing. His wife examines her fingernails. The defense begins their opening statement. Sheikh Ryan's lead attorney stands, says the recording is taken out of context. The Sheikh was speaking hypothetically, was attempting to scare Miss Santos into stopping what he believed was an extortion scheme. She had discovered financial irregularities, yes, but those irregularities were caused by previous employees who had embezzled funds. Miss Santos was threatening to expose the Sheikh unless he paid her. She was blackmailing him. The Sheikh made an ill-advised statement in anger, but he did not order her death. He did not kill her. The actual killers were 2 employees, Fahad and Mohammed, who acted independently, who had their own criminal motives, who are now lying to reduce their sentences. The defense for Sheikha Amira argues she had no knowledge of any murders. She was a wife, a mother, a philanthropist. Her son Hamdan is lying to save himself. She is being framed by her own child. The prosecution begins presenting evidence. July 16th, forensic evidence. Callum's body, cause of death, timeline. The medical examiner testifies Callum Santos died between 3:30 a.m. and 4 a.m. March 23, 2024 from manual strangulation. The baby died with her defensive wounds on her arms indicate she fought her attacker. DNA evidence under her fingernails matches Fahad Al-Nakbi. July 17, the bodies from the construction sites, photographs of the excavation, skeletal remains, dental records. All 10 victims identified, all showed signs of manual strangulation, all buried in locations owned or controlled by Al-Muhari Construction Company. July 18, financial evidence. Sarah Mitchell testifies as forensic accountant, presents spreadsheets showing $68.4 million embezzled over 16 years, fake LLC accounts opened using victims' identities, all withdrawals authorized by Sheikh Ryan, all deposits came from Al-Muhari Family Trust. The defense tries to argue the Sheikh was unaware that someone else in his organization created these accounts. Sarah Mitchell destroys this argument. Every single transfer required biometric authorization, fingerprint scan. The Sheikh's fingerprint, specifically 847 transfers over 16 years, every one approved by him personally. July 19, the phone records, cell tower data placing the defendants and their associates at specific locations at specific times. March 23, 2:53 a.m. Sheikh Ryan called an unknown number. That number called 2 other numbers, 2 verse 55 a.m. Those numbers belong to Fahad and Mohammed. March 23, 3:02 a.m. Cell towers place Fahad and Mohammed near Marina Heights, where Callum was kidnapped. March 23, 3:34 a.m. Cell towers place all defendants, including Sheikh Ryan and Sheikha Amira, at Al-Muhari Construction Company warehouse, the same warehouse where Callum was killed. The defense argues cell tower data is not precise enough, could be anywhere within a 500-meter radius. The prosecution presents additional evidence, traffic cameras showing the Sheikh's Range Rover entering and exiting the warehouse complex 3:31 a.m. and 4:28 a.m. security logs showing Sheikh Ryan's biometric scan opening the warehouse gate 3:29 a.m. The defense has no response. July 22, Mohammed takes the stand. He has a plea deal, 25 years in exchange for full testimony. He describes in detail the murder of Callum Santos. We grabbed her on Al-Khaleej Street, forced her into the Mercedes, drove her to the warehouse. The Sheikh and Sheikha were already there waiting. The Sheikha told us to make it quick, said we had limited time before morning shift. I strangled her while Fahad held her arms. She fought for maybe 90 seconds, then she stopped. The Sheikha checked her pulse, said it is done. The defense cross-examines, tries to break his story, accuses him of lying to get a reduced sentence. Mohammed does not break, says I have nothing to gain by lying. I am spending 25 years in prison. I am telling the truth because these women deserve justice. Mohammed then describes the other murders. Linda Torres, August 2021. I strangled her in the same warehouse. The Sheikha watched, told me to make sure she was dead before we moved the body. Carmen Reyes, November 2018. Same location, same method. The Sheikha was there again. This time she told me to dispose of the body where it would not be found for years. Ana Pascual, March 2021. The Sheikha supervised again. By this time it was routine. She did not even say much, just pointed and nodded. The defense asks, why should we believe you? Mohammed says, because I kept records. I took photos of the burial sites. I saved text messages. I documented everything because I knew one day this would come back. I wanted insurance. The prosecution presents Mohammed's evidence, photos of warehouse interior, photos of construction sites, text messages between Mohammed and Fahad discussing disposal locations, text messages between Mohammed and an unknown number later traced to Sheikha Amira, coordinating timing. July 23, Fahad takes the stand, confirms everything Muhammad said, adds more details. The Sheikh never did the killing himself. He watched. He was present for every murder. Both he and the Sheikha watched like they were supervising employees. The Sheikha always gave the final order. She would say it is done, or she would say take care of it. She was in charge, not the Sheikh. The Sheikh handled the money. The Sheikha handled the cleanup. Fahad describes Callum's murder specifically. She was 7 months pregnant. She kept saying, "My baby, please, my baby." The Sheikha told me to hurry up, said we had limited time. I did what I was told. The Sheikh stood there smoking a cigarette, watching. His son Hamdan was there too. The Sheikha made him watch, said, "This is your inheritance. This is how we protect what is ours." The defense tries to discredit Fahad, says he is lying to avoid the death penalty. Fahad says, "I already accepted 25 years. I am not avoiding anything. I am confessing. What do I gain from lying?" The families are watching all of this every day. They sit in the gallery listening to how their daughters died. Linda Torres's mother weeps openly. Carmen Reyes's father sits stone-faced. Ana Pascual's sister has to leave the courtroom twice. Callum's mother watches via video link from the Philippines, too ill to travel. July 24, Hamdan testifies he is serving 8 years as part of his plea deal. He describes what he saw. March 23, 2024. My father called me 2:55 a.m., told me to bring my car to the warehouse. I thought it was a business emergency. When I arrived, Fahad and Muhammad were there. My parents were there. They told me a woman had stolen company documents, that we needed to retrieve those documents. I did not know it was murder. I did not know until I saw them drag her inside, saw my mother give the order, saw Fahad strangle her. I wanted to leave. My mother said, "Watch, you need to see how we handle problems." I watched. I did not stop it. I am guilty too. The defense tries to portray Hamdan as a vindictive son lying about his parents to reduce his sentence. Hamdan breaks down crying, says, "I wish I was lying. I wish my mother was not a murderer, but she is. I watched her order 4 deaths. I watched my father embezzle millions. I watched them destroy 11 families, and I said nothing until Callum Santos recorded that conversation, and even then I only talked because I was caught. I am not a hero. I am a coward who watched murders happen." July 25, Paulo Mendoza testifies. Callum's fiancé. He has not slept properly since March. He has lost 15 kilograms. He looks hollow. Callum was scared the last few weeks. She told me she discovered something about the Sheikh, about other women who had disappeared. She said she needed to record him admitting it. She said, if anything happened to her, I should go to the police. I told her to quit, to come home. She said, not without proof. She said other women died, and no one believed their families. She said she needed evidence that would survive, even if she did not. Paulo plays text messages between him and Callum. March 22, Callum writes, "I am going to call him tonight. I am going to make him tell the truth." Paulo responds, "Do not do this. It is too dangerous." Callum writes, "If I do not, who will? The next woman who gets assigned to his account will die too. I have to stop this." Paulo reads the messages aloud in court, his voice breaking. March 23, 2:56 a.m. Callum's last text, "Something bad is happening. I love you. Check your email in the morning. Go to police." Paulo says, "I was at work. I did not see the text until 6 a.m. By then she was already dead. I received her email at 6 a.m. with the audio file. I listened to it. I knew immediately she was gone." You can hear it in the Sheikh's voice. He had already decided she would die. The defense does not cross-examine Paulo. What could they possibly ask? July 26, the victims' families testify one by one. Linda Torres's mother, "My daughter called me August 2021, said she was coming home, had bought her ticket. The next day she stopped answering her phone. I reported her missing. Dubai police said she probably ran away for 3 years. I believed she abandoned us because money kept coming every month, $1,000. I thought she was working somewhere, too ashamed to call. Now I know she was dead, buried in concrete, and her killers used that money to keep us quiet." Carmen Reyes's father, "My daughter was saving money to open a small business in Cebu. She had $12,000 saved. She was coming home November 2018. She never arrived. I flew to Dubai, filed a missing person report. The police did nothing, said she probably went to another country. 3 years. I waited 6 years. And she was dead the whole time." Ana Pascual's sister, "My sister wanted to help our family. She went to Dubai 2020 for a 2-year contract. March 2021. She stopped calling. We thought she was angry. We thought we did something wrong. We did not know she was dead, did not know she was buried under a warehouse, did not know the people she worked for killed her for asking questions." Callum's mother testifies via video link, "Too ill to travel." She says, "Callum called me every week, told me about work, about Paulo, about the baby." In March, she said, "Mama, if something happens to me, it is not an accident." I told her she was being paranoid. I was wrong. I should have told her to come home. I should have protected her. She protected others. Instead, she recorded that man. She created evidence. She saved future women, even though it could not save her. July 29, closing arguments. Fatima Al-Mansuri speaks for 2 hours. 11 women dead because they were good at their jobs, because they noticed discrepancies, because they asked questions. Sheikh Ryan Al-Mahari embezzled $68.4 million, and when women discovered it, he killed them. Sheikha Amira supervised these murders, planned them, coordinated them. She was not a bystander. She was the architect. This was not passion. This was not impulse. This was systematic, calculated murder over 16 years. They thought They were untouchable, thought their wealth, their status, their name would protect them. They were wrong. Callum Santos made sure of that. She recorded the Sheikh confessing. She uploaded that recording. She created evidence that survived her murder, and that evidence is why we are here. That evidence will convict them. The defense argues for 2 hours. Reasonable doubt, lack of direct video evidence, reliance on accomplice testimony. The recordings could be interpreted differently. The Sheikh was speaking. Hypothetically, the jury, 3 judges in UAE criminal court, no jury system, deliberates for 8 hours. July 30th. 10 a.m. The court reconvenes. The lead judge reads the verdict. Sheikh Ryan Al-Mahari guilty. All counts. 11 counts. First-degree murder, embezzlement, conspiracy, kidnapping. Sheikha Amira Al-Mahari guilty. All counts. 11 counts. First-degree murder, conspiracy, accessory evidence, tampering. The courtroom erupts. Families crying. Media rushing to file reports. The Sheikh and Sheikha show no emotion. Sentencing will occur separately. August 10th. August 10th. 2024 sentencing hearing. The courtroom is packed again. Families, media, officials. The judge reads the sentences. Sheikh Ryan Al-Mahari death penalty by firing squad under UAE law. Premeditated murder of multiple victims carries mandatory death penalty. Additional sentences. $68.4 million restitution to Al-Mahari family trust. All personal assets seized. Sheikha Amira Al-Mahari death penalty by firing squad. Same charges, same sentence. All personal assets seized. Both defendants show no emotion, do not speak, do not react. Their lawyers immediately file appeals, but in UAE death penalty cases with overwhelming evidence, appeals rarely succeed. Outside the courthouse, victims' families embrace each other, crying. Linda Torres's mother says, "My daughter can finally rest." Carmen Reyes's father says, "Justice finally." Ana Pascual's sister says, "It is not enough they are dead, but my sister is still dead." Callum's mother in the Philippines watches the sentencing via video link, says, "Callum, you saved them, you saved so many others." The appeals process takes 3 months. October 15th. 2024 UAE Supreme Court denies all appeals. The evidence is overwhelming. The confessions are corroborated. The forensic evidence is irrefutable. 11 women were murdered. Execution date is set December 20th. 2024 Callum Santos's original due date, the day her baby was supposed to be born. The symbolism is intentional. December 20th. 6 a.m. Dubai Central Prison Execution Chamber. Sheikh Ryan Al-Mahari is brought in wearing white traditional clothing for execution. He is asked if he has any final words. He says nothing. Is strapped to the chair facing the firing squad. 5 marksmen armed with rifles. 6:04 a.m. The order is given. The shots are fired. Sheikh Ryan Al-Mahari is pronounced dead. 6:07 a.m. 30 minutes later, Sheikha Amira Al-Mahari is brought to the same chamber. She also declines to make a statement, shows no emotion, no fear, no remorse. 6:37 a.m. She is pronounced dead. Both bodies are released to the family refuses to claim them. Both are buried in unmarked graves in a public cemetery. No headstones, no markers, nothing. The family destruction is complete and total. The Al-Mahari extended family immediately distances themselves. The family council meets December 21st, issues public statement. Ryan and Amira Al-Mahari do not represent our family values. They have brought shame upon our name. They are hereby removed from all family records. Their branch of the family tree is severed. Their children are no longer recognized as Al-Mahari. The 3 children are destroyed. Hamdan is in prison serving 8 years, will be released 2032 at age 33. His life is over. No career, no prospects, no family wants him. Khalid, the older son, age 28, was not charged with any crimes, but his life collapses anyway. He worked as executive at Al-Mahari Construction Company, is fired immediately. His wife files for divorce. His in-laws disown him. He tries to find work in UAE. No one will hire him. He moves to London, changes his name. Lives in a small apartment, works in a restaurant. Layla, the daughter, age 30, also not charged but equally destroyed. Her husband divorces her within 2 weeks of the verdict. His family claims she comes from criminal bloodline, is unfit to raise children. She loses custody of her 2 sons, sees them twice a year, supervised visits. She becomes reclusive, moves to a small villa in Sharjah, rarely leaves the house. The company's collapse. Al-Mahari Construction Company files for bankruptcy. November 2024. Reputation destroyed. No one wants to be associated with a company that built warehouses specifically to hide murder victims. All major contracts canceled. $340 million in pending projects terminated. 2,000 employees laid off. The company is sold to a competitor for $18 million. Fraction of its value. The new owners immediately rebrand, demolish all warehouses associated with the murders, turn the land into Memorial Parks. Elite Concierge Services also collapses. October 2024. The company that employed all 11 victims files for bankruptcy. Clients terminate contracts. No one wants VIP service from the company that enabled a serial killer. 247 employees, mostly Filipino, lose their jobs. Company CEO issues public apology. We failed our employees. We failed Callum. We failed to see the warning signs. We failed to protect the women who worked for us. We take full responsibility. Wrongful death lawsuits are filed by All 11 families' company insurance pays out settlements, total $42 million split among families, approximately $3.8 million per family. The money from the Sheikh's estate is liquidated. His personal assets total $480 million after legal fees and restitution $412 million. Remains this money is distributed $68.4 million returned to Al-Muhari family trust. The amount embezzled $50 million split among the 11 families. Additional compensation $4.5 million each. $294.6 million used to establish the Callum Santos Protection Fund. This fund provides legal assistance to foreign workers in UAE, provides emergency housing, provides repatriation assistance, funds investigations into suspicious deaths of foreign workers. The fund is administered by an independent board chaired by Paulo Mendoza. Callum's fiancé Paulo quit his call center job, cannot work regular hours, has severe PTSD, nightmares, flashbacks, panic attacks. He dedicates his life to the fund, to honoring Callum, to protecting other workers. In December 2024, the fund helps 847 foreign workers with various issues, disputed wages, passport confiscation, threats from employers. By 2025, the fund has assisted over 3,000 workers. The legal changes are swift and significant. January 2025, UAE government passes the Foreign Workers Protection Act, mandatory independent legal consultation for all foreign workers. All call centers must implement safety protocols. Recordings of all calls with VIP clients stored in independent secure servers accessible by police. Financial institutions must verify identity in person for any account over $10,000, cannot accept photocopies, cannot accept third-party documentation. Missing person cases involving foreign workers must be investigated with same priority as UAE nationals. No case can be closed without forensic evidence. Mandatory annual audits of companies employing over 500 foreign workers. Hotline established for foreign workers to report abuse, anonymously operated by independent NGO, not government entity. Any report of threats, violence, or coercion triggers automatic investigation. The Philippine government also acts. February 2025, establishes Bureau of Overseas Workers Security. New department specifically for worker protection. All workers going overseas receive mandatory safety training, emergency contacts, legal rights education, know your employer, know your rights, know how to report abuse. Embassy staff increased in UAE specifically to handle worker complaints. Monthly check-ins required. Automated system calls every worker once per month. If worker misses 2 consecutive check-ins, automatic investigation triggered. By March 2025, over 180,000 Filipino workers in UAE are enrolled in the system. The scholarship fund is established March 2025. The Callum Elena Santos Memorial Scholarship, funded by remaining money from the estate. $294.6 million invested conservatively, generates approximately $15 million annually in scholarship funds, provides full university scholarships for Filipino women pursuing business, law, social work. Nursing goal is to empower women to protect themselves and others. First year 200 scholarships awarded recipients are called Callum's Voices. They wear red and white sashes with Callum's photo. They attend university in Philippines, UAE, UK, wherever they choose. Only requirement: complete degree, return to work in field that helps others. By 2026, over 400 Callum's Voices are studying worldwide. Linda Torres's family uses their compensation $4.5 million to establish Legal Aid Foundation in Manila, provides free legal assistance to families of missing overseas workers, helps families navigate foreign legal systems, helps families demand investigations. Carmen Reyes's family builds women's shelter in Cebu, safe house for women escaping abuse, escaping trafficking, escaping dangerous employers, provides housing, job training, legal assistance. Ana Pascual's family creates education center, teaches overseas workers their rights, teaches women how to recognize exploitation, teaches families warning signs of trafficking. Callum's recording becomes the most important piece of evidence in UAE legal history, downloaded over 200 million times worldwide, played in law schools as case study, how electronic evidence can prosecute powerful defendants, how one woman's courage can change entire system. The recording is preserved in multiple formats: original 4 minutes 17 seconds, full unedited version archived in UAE National Archives, archived in Philippine National Archives, archived in UN Human Rights Council database. Available to researchers, investigators, educators, forensic audio experts. Confirm no editing, no manipulation, perfect chain of custody. Callum's voice will exist forever. Every time the recording is played, Callum speaks. Every time someone is protected by laws created in her name, Callum saves them. Every time a worker reports abuse, instead of staying silent, Callum gave them courage. The family's healing is slow, painful, incomplete. Linda Torres's mother visits her daughter's grave every week. Linda was reburied in Cebu December 2024. Proper funeral, proper burial. Hundreds attended. Her mother says, I talked to her, tell her about her younger siblings, tell her justice was done, but it does not bring her back. Carmen Reyes's father established a foundation in Carmen's name, says, this is how I survive, by helping others, by making sure no other father loses a daughter this way. Ana Pascual's sister named her newborn daughter Ana after her aunt. Says, my daughter will know her aunt's story, will know she was brave, was killed for being good at her job, was buried for 6 years before anyone found her. My daughter will grow up knowing that speaking truth is dangerous, but staying silent is worse. Callum's mother, too ill to travel, watches everything from the Philippines via video link, says, Callum was my first baby, my only daughter. She wanted to help the family, wanted to make life better. She went to Dubai for us, and she died there. I received money every month for years after she died. I did not know it was blood money. I thought it was her salary. I thought she was working. I talked to her picture, told her about her siblings, about the neighborhood, about everything. Now I know she was not there, was already gone. The money kept coming, but she was already dead. The Sheikh did that, kept paying, so we would not ask questions, so we would think she was alive. Callum's mother dies August 2025, complications from diabetes. Her last words are, I am going to see Callum now, going to hold my baby again. The warnings for foreign workers are everywhere now, posters in airports and embassies, in recruitment centers. The warnings say, document everything, keep copies of contracts, keep copies of your passport, keep records of all communications. If someone uses your identity without permission, report it immediately. If someone threatens you, record it if possible. If you discover financial irregularities, report to embassy, report to police, report to your family. Do not confront powerful people alone. Do not assume authorities will help without evidence. Create evidence, protect yourself. The warnings include Callum's photo, include her story, include the audio recording, include the outcome. The warnings work. By 2026, reports of abuse, threats, and exploitation from foreign workers in UAE increased by 340%. This is not because abuse increased, this is because workers now report, because they know reporting can lead to justice, can lead to protection, can lead to change. Callum Santos proved that. Callum Elena Santos, born April 14, 1998, died March 23, 2024, age 26, 7 months pregnant, engaged to be married, 147 days from finishing her contract, 147 days from going home. She discovered a crime. She documented it, she recorded it, she uploaded it. She died 3 hours later. But her evidence lived, her voice lived, her courage lived, and 16 years of murder stopped. The Sheikh, who thought he was untouchable, died by firing squad. The wife who orchestrated the murders died by firing squad. The killers, who strangled 11 women, are serving 25 years. The son who watched and said nothing is serving 8 years. The companies that enabled this collapsed. The laws that failed these women changed. The families that lost daughters found justice, found answers, found closure. Callum's baby never took a breath, never had a name, but that baby's death meant something, because Callum's death meant something, because one 4-minute recording changed everything. If you work overseas, if you handle money for powerful people, if you discover something you should not have discovered, do what Callum did. Document, upload, tell someone, because Callum Santos's recording changed everything, and yours might too. Rest in peace, Callum Elena Santos, Linda Torres, Carmen Reyes, Ana Pascual, and 7 other women whose names we learned too late. You died for being good at your jobs. You died for asking questions. You died for being thorough, but you are not forgotten. December 20th, 2024, the day Callum's baby was supposed to be born, the day her killers died. Instead, Callum won.